Hello, this is the part 2 of the Level 3 National Federation Music Club's theory. In part 1, we talk about identifying all the notes on treble and bass clef, including line notes and space note, and also how to identify whole step and half step, and the scales of F and G. Let's now talk about how to draw the clef. I like Faber Piano Adventure Primer Series level and page 22. Here it shows how you can draw the treble clef. First, make a candy can, and next draw a half circle that cross at line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then swing to the left and curve down to line 1. That's the bottom line. And then curve around to line 2. So let's draw the treble clef here. So first, a letter J, or you can think of a candy can, and this is line 4. That's the point you want to cross. And it's very important that we cross that line, otherwise the point will be deducted when the teacher grades that. And now swing to the left and come back around. Make sure you meet on line 2 and come down. Make it come across a little bit over the G line. So this is a treble clef. We are looking for this point, and this point that it actually cross. And of course, when you draw, you will not draw that circles. You will draw it like this. And that's the G clef. And for F clef, you start on the second line, that's the F, and swing down to the last space, put 2 dots on the first and second space. That's how you draw the bass and treble clef. And in the exam, for example, here on this question, it asks you to draw number 6. Not sure if you can see it, but I will read it out loud. Draw a treble clef, and then using half note, write a 1 octave F major or G major scale. And the stems must be placed correctly. So let's talk about the stem. If you write for example, F clef, starting on F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. And F major scale has a B flat, so flat. And now let's talk about the stem direction. If it's middle line or above, see, this is the middle line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Middle line above, the stem go down, and make sure the stem is 3 spaces long. So 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, be longer, 1, 2, 3. So make sure the stem is long enough, and because this is below the middle line, the stem go up. So we are looking for the correct stem placement, and as well as drawing the treble clef when you are asked to write a F major or G major scale. Now let's move on to item number 4 that I want to talk about. It's the chords. Chords are the building block of harmony, and in level 3 you will be asked to write C major, F major, and G major chord. So C major chord are stacking third from C. So you can write C major either from treble C like this, C, E, G, or you can write it from middle C, and this board already has the dotted line for C, so let me use that. And so both of these are C major chord. C major chord here, C major chord here. How about F major? So we find F, stacking third on top. So this is F major chord, and then G major chord, stacking line note. This is G major chord, line, 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 F major, space, 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 and C major. If you start from middle C going up, line note, line note, line note, treble C, space, space, space. So this is C major, this is C major. How about the chords on bass clef? let's build a C major chord starting from bass C, that's C major. And you can build an F major chord starting from here, then this is F, that's a space note right below the bass staff, F, A, C. So this is F major, and G major chord, you start at the lowest line, line number 5. I number line this way from middle out and stacking this line out, and this is G major chord. There is another F chord you can build from bass clef that start from the F, the second line, the bass F, and line out, and have a middle C on top. So this is another F major chord. You can choose which one you like to do. Both are acceptable. And here is another G major chord you can build. Let me draw a line, separate this. That way it's easier to see. And another G major chord you start from, oh, that's actually A. Let me erase that. You start from the first space G and another space note, and make sure you give it an added line above, and G, B, D. Have that on top, 3 space notes. So this is G major chord. Let's recap what we've covered so far. We covered the 3 different chords, C major, F major, G major, both built from the notes from both treble and bass clef. Let's move on to intervals. In level 3, the student will know the interval of second, that's step, skip, third, also fourth, fifth, and octave. So let's take a look and just remember that second, third, fourth, fifth, and octave. I prefer students to spell out the octave, and it's also acceptable if you answer 8th for the 8th. So now let's take a look at the intervals. This is what I like to remember. If it's odd number interval like 3, 5, you will see the same. Line note goes to line note, space note goes to space note. Let's take a look at this exam page, this test page. I'll move it closer. So here we can identify that this is different. So it's not odd number answers. Let's first find interval 3rd and 5th. So what's the same? This is the same, and that's a skip interval of 3rd. And that's the same from line to line, and this is an interval of 5th. And this is also the same from space to space. This is interval of 5th. Line to line, interval of 3rd, and different. So now we've identified interval of 3rd and 5th, and I like to use the word awesome. Odd, same. It's kind of like the word awesome, and it just reminds me that if the interval is odd number, then I'm looking for visual clue, line to line or space to space. And now we are looking for interval of 2nd, that's step, or 4th, or octave. That will be easy to spot. 2nd is always right next to each other. So this is a 2nd, that's 4th. This is 8th. 8th is big. And this is 4th, and this is 8th. Of course, you can always draw it. So like 2nd, if I build an interval of 2nd, that will look like this. And the 3rd, it goes from line to line. A 4th, it's a bit bigger than a 3rd. And you can count 1, 2 space, 3 is line, 4 is the space. So that's 4. And 5th, I always like to think of it's a snowman missing the middle circle. So that's a 5th. 5th. And 8th, let's count. 1, 3, 5, 7 line note, and the space note above it's 8th. So that's the interval for the theory level 3 preparation. Let's move on to the last item on the list, which is borrowing the correct measures. Let's look at this example. It said, separate the following notes into measures by adding bar lines and double bar lines in 4/4 time. So we are counting every 4 beats, then we'll add a bar line. So quarter note has 1 count, quarter rest 1 count, 1 count, 1 count, that's 4. Then we will add a bar line right here. And here we have 2 count, 2 plus 1, add another bar line here, and a whole note, bar line here, and 1 plus 3 equals 4, add a bar line here, and at the end, remember to add double bar line. And the same thing go for 3, 4. So let's look together. 1 plus 1, quarter rest plus 1. You will put the bar line right here. 1 plus 2, this is a half rest, kind of look like a hat. 1 plus 2, 3. The bar line go here. And 1, 2, 3, bar line go here. And 1 plus 1 plus 1 give you 3. Bar line go here. And double bar line at the end. Let me show you what the answer key look like. So this is what I talked about earlier. Bar line here, double bar line at the end, and also bar line here. And now let's look at another type of question. Here it's asking add 1 rest to make each measure complete in 3/4 time. And this will be in 4/4 time. So what type of rest is missing? That would be a quarter rest, because 2, I need 1 more to make it 3, and quarter rest here. And here will be a whole rest, because the whole rest will take up the entire measure. So whole rest in this case is has 3 count, and half rest here, half rest here. Let's take a look at the answer really quick. So quarter rest, half, whole rest, because it looked like a hole if a person walk and it will fall in. Half rest. And now look at 4/4, missing a quarter note, missing a quarter note, missing a half note. 2 plus 2 equals 4. And in this case, whole rest has 4 beats and half rest there. That's all that I would like to cover for the level 3. Thank you very much. Enjoy.